One group of women who sell at one particular pyramid site, ancient site, Ekbalam, that's where this is from, which means black star jaguar, which is one of the sites that we go to. And we're going to go in March. So we have the last dolphin healing Mayan magic retreat happening in March of 2024. What do I mean the last one? Well, there's no more next year. I know that for sure. After that, I live here. Of course, I'm going to be using the magic here. I talk to the dolphins every day. I do healing with them. But how they want to continue, I don't know, and it's not clear. I'm going to Greece in May, and it's going to be a very important portal for anybody who's really on a sacred journey, especially for awakening, reconnecting back to your true source, your Kundalini, your Gaia, recognizing you don't need to ground. You are Gaia, you are made of earth, you are an earth star, and the awakening of things that are going to happen in the dragon year, it's going to be a very intense year energetically. It's not to make you afraid. We're going through the solstice right now. This is resurrection. This is rebirth. And resurrection and rebirth is why they chose it, to say, oh, this is the birthday or whatever. Because this is always, everybody who's ever lived on the planet can see that the days in the north or the south, you're doing the opposite. So I'm in the north-ish. I'm not on the equator, pretty close to the equator compared to where I came from. But in the northern hemisphere, in the south, they're beginning the longest day, right? They're experiencing the longest day. You are experiencing the longest day of the year. So it's really fun because we are a paradigm and we're a constant paradigm. And it's a perfect example of the duality that exists within physical form that is not bad. Duality has been used as a term to say you don't want duality anymore. That's not true. You want to fall through the floor? Do you want to be able to eat? Okay? You need polarity. You need duality. You need the sacred masculine and feminine principle, the energetics, the magnetics. You need them both. And we've been out of balance, massively out of balance. We can see it in our culture. We can see it in our relationships. We can see it in our family paradigms. And our ancestors are calling now. Our ancestors are calling. Our grandmothers are coming to me non-stop. People who are connected to the grandmothers. There was a lady, ooh, pretty, look. So it was so lovely. I had 2 retreats back to back. It was just exquisite. And we did the Dolphin Mayan retreat, and then I did the first Inner Goddess retreat. And the Inner Goddess retreat was all about that deeper inner loving, that sacred feminine, that allowing yourself to receive, that releasing, going back to the inner child, going into the cave, finding that. And I taught them the Kundalini cleanse, which is a very advanced mystery school, light body practice and process. And I listened to spirit, and they said you need to share. So I gave them the graphic, which is encoded, and just seeing it is extremely powerful. Now you want to be careful with awakening your Kundalini. Your Kundalini is your life force. It comes from the 8 original cells in the base of your spine, and it is embedded in the sacral. And it is there, it is a physical thing. It's where your body bloomed from, right? It also holds your soul's blueprint. And it's not the only place that holds your soul's blueprint. You have a 9th chakra that does that as well. However, in order to access it that way, you must become really good at your communion with your higher self. Is this what's, okay. So this is where they're going today. So the communing with your higher self is your 8th chakra, your soul star chakra. You have an earth star chakra beneath your feet. It is not part of your personal chakras. It is just outside of what we call your personal light body field. And then you have a soul star chakra, 8th chakra, above your head, not your crown. This is your crown. Your crown, once it's activated and the wings are opened, then it starts to emanate a field, and it becomes a force field, sort of like like an elevator or something from a sci-fi movie where you see light in a column or a tube, because you have coronets, okay? And coronets is like if you put a crown on, an old style crown with all the little points. Why do you think they made up this style? Why do you think people put crowns on their heads? Why do you think they put feathers on their heads? Why do you think they made headdresses of any kind? Hats, those are more made for protection, right? And then it became a thing to show your status and your style. But the real thing we're looking at is that they understood this is a very important part of us. And we've been living in the body, and we've been consumed by TikTok drama and bloobity blobbity blah. And who am I? And I'm not good enough. And I have to strive, and I have to work hard, and I have to have goals, and I have to pay my bills on time. And the first time I got a speeding ticket, I almost died. I mean, I thought I was a bad person. That's how deeply ingrained it was into me that if you do not follow certain rules, you're just bad. You're just bad. Like, you might as well, my mom told me one time that she came over when I had my two babies, my two twins. It's not easy having two babies. And have you been there? And she looked in my drawer of my silverware, and I have all the little containers, with the proper compartments for the big spoons and the small spoons and so on, and everything was put away. It was a clean house for having twins. However, some of the small spoons were in with some of the big spoons, and she got really upset and and yelled at me, and I was just like flabbergasted. I'm standing there, half of a human with babies dripping off of me, and I'm like, what? What? Are you kidding me? And she said something about it being unconscionable. And I said, unconscionable like Hitler? I was like, yeah. And I said, why can't you ever say anything nice to me about me being a mother? I'm like moved there. I don't know anyone. I'm home alone. I've got twins. It's just like this intense, fantastic experience for my soul. And she said, it's not my responsibility to make you feel good about yourself. And she left. Now, at the time, I was extraordinarily hurt and upset and like, oh my God, whatever. However, as almost all of us know, we all have a mother wound, don't we? And it may have to do with a mother in this life that we loved and lost, that we think is fabulous, or that we wished was different. My mom and I have had a relationship like this. Now, I'm adopted, so I have a birth mother somewhere, but I never met her because I was a gray market baby, so they don't really know who my parents were. So when you look at your story as a story, and you say, why would you write a character like this? What would be the purpose of this character? What would be the power of this character? What would make this character unique? What would give it, why would it have these experiences? What would be the point of giving these trials and tests and dramas? Let's have a daughter die, and let's be disowned, and let's make millions, and let's lose millions, and let's do this and let's do that. And you can insert your own story, right? We all have it. We all have it. No one is special in the sense that you have more pain or drama than anyone else. And yes, I can look at some people and say, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so blessed with my challenges. I really wouldn't want to do that one again, because if I react to it, I'd probably have a life that had that experience. But I've learned to look at myself and others as victors, as victorious already, as already successful, because we are spirit, we are source. We came in to experience this. We manifested through duality, through polarity. There was none. If you want to go to source, just get a good meditation, practice some of my practices. You'll leave your field. You want to do it in a protected way. There's a lot of energies out there you do not want to access. You want your citrine with you. Citrine is clarity. Citrine is wealth. It's the gold ray. The gold ray holds everything. Okay, the gold ray holds all the other rays of creation. Therefore, it's the crayon box with everything. And the best part, I think, I love you. I have lots of citrine all over me and my house all the time. And it's hard to find real citrine these days, so be careful. However, you can buy those little polished stones for very, very cheap. And you can tell if you can see into it, if you can see, this one is not very clear, but I have some that are just incredible. You can see the gold and you can see the landscapes, or you can see the white. It can vary from very light gold, white, to solid white and solid gold and everything in between. But the thing is that citrine has a quality, and this one represents the sun. And today we're celebrating the solstice, and this is the winter solstice. This is December 20th. The peak is tomorrow, December 21 of 2023. And we're completing an incredible year. We are 3 years into the decade of metamorphosis. This is the grand societal reset for the entire universe. So if you've been following my spiritual weather reports, or if you are into understanding what the energies are that are happening that may be having an effect on you, and they are, it's like the landscape. It's like planning a trip. Are you going to drive through the mountains? Are you going to drive through snow? Do you have your windshield wipers working? Do you have, during our retreat, we blew the power out. I'm always proud of that. And instantly, the first thing that came to my mind was when I was in Egypt with my first mystery school that I attended. We had 222 people, and we had 4 hours, 2 days in a row to ourselves in the Great Pyramid, in the King's Chamber, in the Queen's Chamber, in the whole thing. And the first day, about an hour or so in, to our 4 hours, we had chanting and toning and music and didgeridoos, and the whole stone walls were vibrating, and they were opening, and there was different scenes, and everybody was very intent on their own personal growth. And this was a while ago, and so the world was denser, the consciousness was heavier. We didn't know and understand what you know and understand now, but just like you, we were wanting to break free. We wanted to break free of our current limits in our consciousness. We knew without a doubt there was something there. We couldn't touch it. We couldn't see it. There was barely internet. And so we, compared to what you have access to now, I feel like, you probably remember this. Like, you're just stumbling around in the dark, spiritually trying to, like, is that another person? Oh my God. And now everybody's talking about it. So now you need clarity and discernment. You need protection. You need to find your own center, because you do not want everyone's information. You do not want everyone's opinion. You do not want to follow every conversation. So I highly recommend citrine, and I'm really pleased. So I picked up the jaguar to move her, to bring Aphrodite, our love goddess, more fully in. So make sure you watch the show I did yesterday? No, Monday. And I don't know, I barely live in time anymore. I only know time because it says 11:11 for some reason right there. That's interesting. And you say it's 11:11. You said it was 11:11 Jamaica. Awesome. And it was 11:11 on some data right here on the screen. So that was funny. So I moved it, and the citrine sun that stays there fell, and kadoom, badoom, 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 fell off the edge and was getting ready to splatter on my tile floor, and I caught it. And it was boop, 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 like a pinball. Wow. So I feel like this is jumping off the shelf to talk to us today. And that's perfect for the solstice. So remember that the solstice is celebrated for I celebrated the solstice with my children. We had a solstice evergreen. That's what we called the Christmas tree. We decorated a tree outside as well on the solstice, and we hung little biscuits and little cookies with ribbons and other little magical things as a solstice ritual that you might want to do. So I did it because, I kind of am a fairy magic girl. But I had little girls too who liked all that fairy magic stuff. So we got to have a lot of fun. And I'm so happy I'm getting to go visit my family, and I'm going to be there for my dad's 90th birthday, and I'm going to be there for my twins' 27th birthday, and I'm over the moon. So that's a very new development, and it's one of those things where you have to let all the pieces come together. It's not just a matter of deciding or buying a ticket. There's other people's lives involved, and I've had to learn a lot of being in flow and being fluid, and then the magic really does come. It comes when you don't crave it. Sorry. So when the citrine is with you, it does not lose its frequency for anyone. It will not change its vibration. So if you could imagine that you were citrine and you became citrine and you realize that it holds the frequencies of the sun, and our sun holds the frequencies of the great central sun, and the great central sun holds the frequencies of the divine sun, and all of these are held in your solar plexus and your 12th chakra, which is your great central sun chakra. You actually have a chakra. Now that's a transpersonal chakra. Personal chakras intersect with the physical body. Transpersonal chakras, these are energy centers that are a part of you. They're part of your energy makeup. If they don't function, if they don't balance, if they don't communicate, if they're blocked, if they're full of fear, if they're full of all the congestion of fear and drama and contracts that's being pushed to the surface right now. So you're doing a great job. If you've got pain coming up, I have pain in my back and my neck that I haven't had in almost 10 years. And I get a little bit of it, but it's never been this bad. So there's a reason. And it started in the cave, the second cave ceremony that I did. And that was kind of more intentionally for my birthday. So I knew that it was coming back for a reason. And so it's talking to me. I know that it's also because as a homeopathic doctor, we release our past and we release our trauma, and it may just go like a flame and be gone. You may go into a meditation and come out and not even remember why you were upset about your mother. You may go through a deep, deep healing transformation and come home melancholy instead of happy and thrilled. You may be experiencing more energies coming up right now. Well, there's a super fun secret happening right now. Woo! So we're going to dive into the spiritual weather reports. I can give you a little bit more to round out the energies that are happening right now, because it's become one of the most fun and interesting things in my life. I get up every day and I do my spiritual work. I do my love, I do my activation, I set the space, I cleanse and clear my body. I spend time kissing my cat and letting her give me a purr treatment. They're incredible healers, whether they're purring or not, but that's just like the juicy icing and the cherries. Really, I don't like icing. I like the cherries. I did used to like icing. I'll tell you a secret. So I don't eat any sugar now, and I don't really care, to be honest. But it's not like I suffer. Not at all. However, as a child, I loved candy of all kinds, most kinds. And when I was in college, my best friend Karen and I would make birthday cake, and we would make diet birthday cake. Now, diet birthday cake in 1980 was not what you would think diet birthday cake is now. They didn't have light cake, diet cake, sugar-free cake. There was none of that. You just made normal cake, okay? Cake or cake mix. However, diet cake is if the cake was this big and the frosting was this big, you cut the cake in half and you left or doubled the frosting, and that was diet cake. So talk about totally being in the pleasure, right, of I really like the frosting. I just use the cake as a carrier for it. I used to do that with coffee. My ex used to say, have a little coffee with your cream, because I really loved the cream part of it. So these aren't bad, but they're not habits that our body can sustain, and they interrupt our spiritual frequency flow. So a lot of sugar is not a good idea. It just isn't, unfortunately. However, to enjoy the pleasures of things that we did, like Michelle came, she makes us cacao candies and treats. They were painted with gold, and then the next ones had silver glitter, kind of it was like a it was magical. They were glittery silver, made with the cacao, roasted cacao seeds, as she makes it all right there and roasts the seeds. Came to the house, throws the seeds right there. They're roasting while she's doing this over here. She made us sikilpak, which is a Mayan dip, I guess you would call it. Oh, I love it so much. It's made out of roasted pumpkin seeds, green tomatoes, and onions, and garlic. And it just, and everything was for that sensory activation. This was the Inner Goddess Retreat. The point is to bathe you in love. I do it with the sound healing and with the channeling and with the energy. And I do it with the crystals and the way that I set up the space. And I do it with the sound healers and the other healers that come. And I do it with the food and the senses. So it was so delightful. And then she would bring, there was honey and other cacao mousse. And we didn't even get to it. We were going to make fresh berry vegan ice cream. So we have frozen raspberries and stuff we're eating now because we never even got around to it. We had so much wonderful food. Oh, it was so wonderful. So let me see who else is here. Hi, Diane. And Erie Tag, of course. Hi, Quinn. Oh, happy solstice. Happy solstice. Beautiful. You know, you were popping up a lot during the retreat, Quinn. I saw you several times. It was very interesting when people come in and out. Quinn's one of the incredible, intuitive goddesses that went through the Intuition Awakening Camp and the certification over a year ago, right? Yeah. And so, yeah, I saw you. I kept seeing you with the big smile and your cute, bouncy young hair. You're like, boop, 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 boop. So we did a lot of inner child work in the caves, and again, everything to make you feel safe, make you feel happy, to bring pleasure into your life. So you want to look at how you do that, because you need to do that, and we do it in unhealthy ways often. So I used to do it by eating or overeating, or thinking that if I let myself eat certain things that was somehow a treat. And you can do that. It's just that once I finally freed myself of the meaning of the food, I don't choose the food anymore from the emotional perspective. And then I'm more interested in the experience, like I'd rather go and, kiss a dolphin or go to the top of the Venus. My target tomorrow is, there have been different places closed for different reasons recently. So I've been reaching out. Is this place open? Is this place open? The pyramids, I have so many pyramids around me. The one I'm thinking of going to is the Temple of Venus, which is Aphrodite. Which is our morning star, which is Kukulkan, which is the sacred serpent, as the divine sacred feminine energy that we were told to not listen to, who gives us the knowledge and the freedom so that we can move into the tree of life that we are here to. Wow, it's interesting. It's not create, it's sort of embody, but it's sort of like to transcend through. That's a really beautiful vision. They're showing me that we're going to be transcending up through the trunk, the tree of life. A lot of different cultures, that here it's a ceiba tree, it's an actual tree, and we go hug it and puts out fluffies and all kinds of fabulous stuff happens. So, all right, let me get the slides up here. And slides, thank you very much. And so we have several energies, and that's what's fun right now. So in our Sacred Spirit Guide class on Monday, we had Bat Spirit come. And again, that comes from all the experiences we did early in the month in the caves, because the bats live there. I love bats. And we experienced the bats in several different ways. So we entered the cave of the womb of Mother. It's called the Guadalupe Cave, or Mary, or the Sacred Divine Feminine. And it is shaped like a womb. The water part is circular, has all these stalactites coming out in the center. There's an oculus, the sun, and different plants come down. and you climb through a certain place to get into that part, and the other part is land, and we sit there, and that's where we have our cacao, and we have musicians, and we have the ceremony, and we have the spa with the herbs, and we do the whole, it's just amazing, and we're all in the cave. But first we start above in the jungle, and we start with the fire, and we start with calling the directions, and we start with the copal, and we start with the copal because the copal is the sacred incense of the Maya, and it comes from a tree. It's a resin from a tree here, and the sap is thick and protective. It removes the shields and the veils that are in front of your perception, because you have fears that don't let you see things that are right there. You have clients, money opportunities, love opportunities, opportunities for healing the body, for spiritual growth, everything in your life. Your soul is orchestrating in every moment and every aspect of you, and all of your other lives in your soul. You are all on the same journey, and you're focused as you, because you've got to get clear you're the one here in this epic moment. So we're kind of responsible. This is actually rosemary, so this is what they just gave me. You're responsible for all of the lives in your soul in this particular life, because you're the one here right now with the opportunity to grow and evolve very fast. You get the most input, you get the most say in creating the new reality, the new world. What do you want? Don't sit around like a victim. Don't get overwhelmed by other people's dramas and stories. Just let all that shit go and allow yourself to say, who am I? Why am I here? Go back to the eternal question. Know that you're grounded just by being in your body. Start to love and accept your body, and it will change. You ground into your own root. You don't ground into a planet or a house or a time. You're timeless. As timeless beings, we move in and out of no time. Time is part of duality. We created physicality, and it's a miracle. And it's a whole bunch of shit that's been going on for a long time that is culminating right now. We don't need to know it all. We don't need to understand it all. We don't need to judge it at all. We need to be in a place where we allow within to come up and say, I am here right now because. Why are you here? Why are you here? Well, the first thing that you're here to do is to heal the original wound. The original wound to me is the same thing as the mother wound. So I shared a little story of my mom, and my mom and I have been best friends, and then she disowned me. And then we started reconnecting again on my terms, and she's been one of the most powerful teachers in my life. She wanted me so much that the pull of her love drew me. I came through her body, and she had 3 children who died because of an RH blood thing, which kills the baby. And the body that I was being given through her was very weak, and if it had lived, and I didn't want it, so I left. And I found another body through my birth family and found her. And there was no doubt in my mind that we've meant together, be together, and I love her dearly. And we have had incredible experiences up and down the scale of life. So healing the mother wound for me goes to my birth mother gave me up. What are the reasons why? Well, to me, they're based on love. So they were a doctor and a nurse in 1960, and abortion wasn't legal, but they couldn't keep me for their own reasons. And instead of, they could have aborted me, I feel like I was gifted a life through love. Now, I'm not against abortion, or I'm totally pro-choice for whoever wants whatever, so I'm not going down that road. I'm saying that when I looked at feeling abandoned, that's part of the mother wound. if you look at feeling unloved, unseen, unencouraged in any form, my family didn't see me, my family didn't encourage me, my family didn't understand me, that's pretty common. And then there's the power of family. I've never experienced someone who looked like me, acted like me, had mannerisms like me. I was always different, completely different. So friggin' different. I'm taller, bigger framed, everything, even though my mother is German and I have German, but I'm much bigger boned. I have Scotch and Irish too. And so the part of them that we cosmically and karmically and spiritually were a match, and yet that included the fact that I didn't look like them, that I wasn't like them, that I was constantly being told I wasn't like them, and everything else that happened in my life. So I no longer judge people for doing wrong or right. I no longer judge the circumstance or myself that why isn't this different? I'm not complete because of that. If only I had been loved more, if only I hadn't been disowned, if only I hadn't lost all that money, if only this had happened. It's a complete waste of time. It's a complete waste of energy, and I don't want you to waste any time on it. Okay, so today we are in the darkest moment if you're in the north, and I will be most likely leaning to that energy. And if you're in the southern hemisphere, of course, you know we are at extremes. What is the solstice? The equinox is equal day, equal night in general. Okay, I love equinoxes for ceremony, for retreats, because it is insanely powerful energy and it's balanced. We are now not in a balanced state. We are in the energies of imbalance, and we are in extreme. What you want to do is see everything as an infinity symbol, all right? And really think everybody should get infinity light weaving. It is the quintessential energy healing tool and process that's so full of ways to use it, and it can be used every day. I use it every day, all day. Okay, so if you are in an infinity, where are you? You're in the center. You're in the center where all the energy crosses. The center where all the energy crosses is where masculine and feminine meet, where spiritual and physical meet, okay? Yin and yang, above and below, within and without, and so on, so forth. So this is where creation happens. Creation is what we call manifesting, seeing it with our eyes, feeling it with our bodies. Oh, I feel happy now. You don't have to manifest something that turns into a thing. Right? You know what I mean? I want some malachite. Oh, I love malachite. And such green, verdant Gaia energy, and, you know, wealth as well. But it's that vibrant, deep earth, moss almost energy I love. And then there it is. Okay. However, you can manifest something in your life that is profound, which is like inner peace. And it's not a physical thing. However, it changes who you're being, how you feel, how you react, what you choose, who you see. You're literally creating your reality. There is nothing around you that is imprisoning you. There is no habit you've had, no person you live with, no realization you have about yourself that you've been living small or not expressing yourself or whatever it is, okay? And it's different than your 3D mind thinks. The ego says, yeah, right, you mean I can go buy $1 million house right now? Oh, sure, I have everything. I'm just going to go buy $1 million house right now. Don't be a jerk to yourself. Okay? Tell the ego to just take a chill pill, dude. Okay? Go sit outside, listen to some chants, surf some waves, go for a walk, talk to a butterfly. Get out. Okay? You don't get rid of that part of you. That part of you is holding keys. And you want those keys. What you want is to find your inner frequency, and citrine and the sun and the gold ray are going to do that. And when we're at the extreme, like if you're in the southern hemisphere right now, and when we're in the summer solstice for us, we'll be like, woo, party, right? We'll be like, it's all about light. We're in the extreme light. However, extremes of all kinds are challenging. So I want you to recognize that. We're in an extreme moment. We're literally, what, a day away from, boo, right? Going back into growing the light. We're coming into pause and stillness. So in the spirit guides, the bat spirits about rebirth, we went into the caves, we saw the bats, they rewired us, they moved all around. Then they came to us and they said, you must realize that you have the ability for regeneration, for rebirth. You don't need your eyes. You don't need what you thought you could use to see your way. You can perceive it. They're putting energies around us. They're rewiring us. And all because we're into the solstice, they said 4 days, which means today, tomorrow, and 2 more days. Okay, and so we have this beautiful portal of the solstice. Then we're moving into the full moon. Right now we're in Mercury retrograde, and one of the coolest things that's happening right now is that we're getting galactic downloads and upgrades like crazy. So yesterday I woke up, I had a massive headache. I'd had a headache a little bit a day before, which is very unusual for me. And I immediately realized maybe I didn't drink enough water, and yet I couldn't shake it. I didn't feel good. I felt loggy. I felt tired. It's not my norm. I don't like it. And in the past, I would be like, oh, this is terrible. I'd start judging it. I was annoyed a little bit because I was like, I want to do this and I want to do that and I have to do this and I need to do that. Ego, 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 ego. If I honor myself, I say, wow, I'm feeling like this. What would be best right now? Stay in bed, curl up with your fuzzy blankie, have a cat purr all over you, okay? And I did that, and I worked a little bit off my phone, but I stayed in the space that was nurturing to me until I felt ready. And then I was like, you know, I don't want to talk to anybody today. Like, I have contractors here building a wall and stuff like that. And I text, you know, hi, how are you? And do you need anything, whatever. But I was like, normally I go down and I say hi, and, you know, I see what they're doing, and I take pictures, and I go for a walk on the beach, and, you know, I'm very connected to nature and outside. Didn't want anything to do with it at all. And I could feel like a little congestion, but none of this is actually physical. I can actually feel it is congestion that's been pushed into the auric field. And so I can be like, I could drink something right now and clear it, and I wouldn't even feel or experiencing it. But the more I channeled the other day, really need to do that. Do the one I did, which has Aphrodite, Venus, did a love, I don't know, like a channeling, and then a love blessing, and it was really awesome. And it was really about that the sacred feminine is rising, and you need to accept that, and in order to nurture that within you, which is awakening your inner powers and in your intuition, and then becoming aligned to your central channel. Your central channel needs to be like citrine. It needs to find its frequency and never alter it, no matter who you're around or what's happening, even if it's triggering an old pain or a memory. That's why that's being pushed up on the planet right now. And Mercury is in retrograde, so we're reviewing, we're remembering, right? That's why it's coming up. It's a common thing in natural healing and in homeopathy as well, is for symptoms to even go in reverse. Okay, and sometimes there's an aggravation. They get worse, and then they peak. They kind of go, oh, right, and they start to go out. So your goal is never, ever to kill the symptom. The symptom is the messenger. The symptom is not the disease, is not the block, is not the fear. It is not the energy within you or the life that's speaking to you within you that holds the power, or the wound that is causing the challenge and opening the door for your powerful opportunity. Everything right now needs to be shifted. The wound is a wonder. The wound is your portal. The wound is where you will enter space between time, and your timelessness is important because most of us exist outside of time, space, structure. Time, space, time, they're different. There's, Kala and Pacha, and they're all the different cultures that had an actual name for this because they understood. However, it's very interesting because your culture determines how you see things, how you measure things, how you value things, and what you think it means, and therefore then decides for you whether you want it or don't want it, whether you're worthy of it or not, whether it's safe for you to have or not. And it's deciding for you before you consciously have an opportunity to say, would you like to know that your best friend in the whole universe is sitting next to you on the train right now, but you're being depressed and thinking about something else and you're not present and you're going to miss the opportunity to connect with her? Right? So in every moment, there's portals opening. Genevieve came on the retreat, and we went to, with both of my groups, so we went to the Jaguar Temple at Ishelha, which is an ancient site to Ishel, the goddess of the rainbow, moon, women, fertility, all of that. And of the jaguar. And so now I know I am Jaguar medicine woman because I'm also a Ishel priestess. And so this is a site that when I first went there, I walked into the site and it was like a movie when someone walks through an invisible wall and it kind of goes, woo, you know, like water or something. And I was like, and I could see the ripple in time happen. And I literally stepped in and was walking in another time, but in the same space. And this is what you can do, and this is what you do when you go somewhere and you enter an ancient temple. There's stargates. They connect through all kinds of portals and wormholes and umbilical cords to other places, other times. You can re-access the wisdom of an ancient tribal place, an ancient kiva. I used to love to go to the kivas in Chaco Canyon when I lived in New Mexico. And if you'd be interested in a retreat in New Mexico, let me know, because that's the only place so far in the U.S. that's really recalled me again. It is the land of enchantment. That was absolutely where I went for my healing and awakening. And my daughter came and went. And I began my healing journey and my spiritual journey there. So the temple, we were able to go in it. We were able to be there alone. We got to set up an altar. We were able to leave our crystals. We bring crystals and different gifts into all the different altars. And then I led the activation and channeled. Ishel took us down into the cenote underneath. The cenotes are underground caves. And there's one right next to it that used to be land, and now it's poof, like a cliff, and it looks like a lake, and it was all underground. It's a cenote, and it's gorgeous. So we have that energy, and we've walked through the jungle, and we've seen Grandma Tree, and we've blessed her womb, and it's one of the most magical fairy Alush nature spirit sites, very feminine energies. And then when we bless the land and I ask it to welcome him, and we enter in this sacred way. We go between the worlds. We walk between the worlds. We see the portals. We each receive different information wherever you are on your journey, wherever you are, because I strategically place each of these ceremonies within the retreat. So if you come in March, and it's on sale through today, and that's it, okay? So, and it's the only one for a year at least. So really, really seriously talk to me if you're interested in that. But I structure it so that we start with a womb-like healing, that I welcome you in the condo into the sacred space, and I do individual sound healings and channeled healings, and they're quite profound. And then we enter circle and we receive a guided. And then in the afternoon, we do the cave and the womb and the cacao and the heart opening and the inner child and all of that. And then we move each day, okay, through phases that bring us then to the next phase, where the dolphins come in and they bring us joy, and they release the pain that we've allowed to come up, and they've raised our frequency, and and then we do another activation, and then we go into the sacred ceremony, or we go to the pyramid, and they're strategically placed at a point because it's a journey, it's a cocoon. You don't come and do a bunch of different things. You come, and as soon as you decide to go to something like this, anybody's, okay, you come into the frequency of that reality that's being created in the ethers. That retreat already exists. The retreat in May in Greece already exists. Do you feel yourself there? Do you sense yourself there? Do you sense yourself after being there? Where in the different timelines and wormholes do you intersect now to receive information from your soul about guidance about what's next? So the veil, we call it the veil, or the perceived difference between our physicality and then our auric field, and then all of the layers, dimensions of our light body, mental, emotional, and so on, and all the other realms is a perceptual thing, and we feel separated, and we're coming out of 26,000 years of massive separation from source. This is very new to us as a consciousness, to have this new frequency of access to the divine. And so as we're coming out and into this new higher frequency place, it requires an enormous upgrade. And we're having galactic downloads and upgrades right now because of the sun is aligned with the galactic center. And that's been going on for 2 days now, for a couple days. So we feel it before, and we'll feel it through today and into the solstice. And it's part of what's preparing us to move through all this. So Mercury's in retrograde. We're meant to review stuff. If it's coming up, it's good, right? And then when we go into the caves, when we activate these, we activate a new level of sensory perception. So what happens is that when you go through the different ceremonies, or the retreat in general, or the classes that we're doing the Heal the Mother Wound as your portal to freedom. It's going to be a 3-hour workshop on the 26th, which is the full moon, in about a week. So you want to be there for that. That is a required portal to gift yourself with and repeat, and as long as you need to, because these are deep wounds that you might be clearing for lineages or ancestors, or within your body, or within other lives in other bodies, or in the other lives within your soul. We have to get to where we can connect to their powers. So in October, I was told to do the class, Sacred Soul Powers, and connect to your past lives that have powers that you are ready to reclaim now, like consciously work with. And we're talking about your intuitive powers, your sacred feminine powers, your ability to speak to plants or to fairies, your ability to perceive, I see energies, to see things moving, within someone's field, or whatever it is, like all levels of, why are you here? What do you have? You have at least 7 other lives right now that want to connect. Well, I put that out there to be in November, and it became very clear very quickly. The energy says it's not, you need something else first. You can't do this now. People were not ready. They were not. What happens is you reach a point in your awareness and your evolution, and you don't shame yourself. You are where you are. So look what you're attracted to. Are you attracted to things that are safe and you've done before? Are you sticking with the same path because it is working for you? Or are you sticking with the same path because it's comfortable? You might need something out of your comfort zone. You might need to shake up or change your vitamin routine or your meditation routine. The solstice is about the deepest dark and the deepest light. And the deepest dark we're going to access today is with Mercury in retrograde. Mercury is the messenger of the gods. Mercury is Hermes. Mercury is Thoth. Thoth is holding a pen that he's missing, and he's the scribe. And he has been there through every life you've ever had. This energy, this essence, was a boy in Atlantis, and he desired from his heart to learn the mysteries. He looked up onto the mountains, and this was in a time of beautiful consciousness and the ability to create spheres around continents that kept the consciousness high, that kept people in their heart centered, the ability to communicate and generate enormous, amazing things from crystals, and talk to the woods and build temples and pyramids, because no people picked up giant blocks and put them on top of each other to build any of these temples, pyramids, walls, or anything else that we see. So get over the slaves, okay? That's the biggest bunch of mechanical Newtonian physics consciousness, right? I can only think of somebody had to pick it up and it is heavy. Can't even think about, wow, why not talk to the rock? Why not say we want to create this? Who can do something that precise? Nobody. We still can't. We have all this technology. Good heavens. So we're moving. And Thoth is here. And he's been there scribing every life that you have had in your soul. He's been there. And you might perceive Thoth as a woman too. It's got a masculine and feminine aspect. And why? Because recording your life into the Akasha, recording your feelings, recording where you are. And at the weighing of your heart ceremony, in whatever culture, there's a different aspect of it. I love and very attached to my mystery schools that I went through in ancient Egypt and in Egypt in this time. And it's the weighing of the heart, the feather against your heart. And your heart has to be as light as a feather for you to be given permission to move to the next level. Why? Because of the fall. The fall could be the fall of Atlantis, could be any other story, any other of those things you want to talk about. It was the separation. We were not bad people. We were gifted by the sacred feminine, the Kundalini, the sacred serpent, which every culture revered until the Christians came and made it evil, because it is the sacred feminine. And the masculine energy cannot own the sacred feminine. It cannot do what the sacred feminine can do. It cannot create. It doesn't make you in a female body better than a divine being in a male body. It means you have different abilities. You're a different kind of a car. A different kind of equipment. You're built for different things. Everybody is waking up their intuition. But the sacred feminine is as out of balance as the sacred masculine and the feminine in the duality life forms. And in order for us to awaken that, those of us who know that we are called back to our soul's purity, to trust our inner voice, to talk to our other lives within our soul, to go in and say, yes, I'm going to go into my cave, I'm going to go into my sacral, I'm going to go into the deepest, darkest parts that hold the fears that I'm not loved, that I'm not good at the core of who I am. That's at the base of everybody, and that's at the base of healing the mother wound that we're going to do on the full moon. So, and it's a beautiful, soft, beautiful full moon, okay? Now we're moving into Capricorn. That's another thing that's happening right now. We're going from Sag, my sign, and Sag is a happy sign. It's a fire sign. It's a freedom sign. It's a movement sign. You like movement, and you like lots of things and good fortune, and it's the horse and the mane flying and that strength and the centaur, the mystic. It's the philosopher. Excuse me. It's all of those energies. And it's mutable fire, which means it's changing fire. So maybe you feel the embers, maybe you feel and then you feel like, oh, burning down. Woo-hoo. So that's what we've been going through. And we're moving into Capricorn. My beloved babies and my dad are all Capricorn. So I'm going back for a Capricorn birthday fiesta. And Capricorns are a goat. So they're an earth sign. However, they are traditionally a goat with a fishtail. So this is a very interesting mixture. And I believe this, that the Capricorn energy really isn't as hard as people perceive it, have interpreted it. You're steady on your feet. You can climb any rocky thing. You like to build. You like to work hard. There's an aspect of needing to work hard, and if you have that as an issue and a challenge and you overwork, you need to watch out as we enter Capricorn season. Okay? You want to take that energy and be like, ooh, I'm going to take my happiness and build with it. You can have steadiness on any kind of, I had goats. They can climb and jump off anything. It's amazing. Okay. And then there's a sense of the Capricorn is very good with money, very practical, very good with building. And so I'm going to use that Capricorn energy for helping to flesh out the structure of the heart fire spirit energy that's been coming in from my birthday, from this time period, from my retreats, for me, from the portals that have led me all this year through to this point, just like you. Take the Sagittarius energy today, tomorrow's kind of going to be fading out after that, and say, I want to ignite my spirit. I want to ignite my prosperity. We have the prosperity magic is then the next thing. So what they told me was, here's prosperity grandmother. This is one of my oracle cards. And she's asked to be the main guide in our prosperity magic class, which is going to happen in January. And these are the two classes, Heal the Mother Wound and the Grandmother and the prosperity magic one, that we are going to work with. Do you see how she's working in the energy field? She's working in the cosmos. She's between the worlds. She's working through symbols and light. She's working in the stars. She is the eternal prosperity source, okay? And timeless magic, that's what we're talking about, timelessness, grandmother wisdom, it's really coming in right now. Eternal prosperity, source, and manifesting in flow. This is what we're going to be working with in January. So these are all on sale for a couple more days, these classes. These are brand new classes. I do them live. I work with you live in the classes. If you can't come live, it's fine. Everything's recorded. And the prosperity magic is going to be designed in a way that it's activations, modules, things that you pull off the shelf and use again and again, okay? Like the energy cleanses, if you have those, they're practical tools to use on a daily basis. Then we can move into the sacred soul powers where we reconnect to the past lives that have our powers. So that's how that's going to unfold for the beginning of the year. Then we're going to move into March and we're going to be in the Mayan magic again. We're going to be in the caves. I have, oh my gosh, I have some new healers. I've experimented with some Mayan sound healers and a beautiful, incredible man. This man glows with luminosity, authenticity, beauty, and it came to me as a crystal bowl person, but that doesn't even touch the surface of what is possible. Not just all the different instruments, the voice, the sounds, the words, the music, the way that they do this thing, they come to us. But he brings his daughter, who was 7 and is now 8, and that's a very magical age, and her maiden energy is she's a powerful healer. She plays several instruments and sings. She's a healer in her own right. And now I have found an incredible body worker who works with sound and healing and water and osteopathy and chiropractic and massage and a dear friend of mine who's been through about 8 years of shamanic training now, who does sound healing, and then a woman, a beautiful local woman who is trained in the grandmother tradition, and they're all going to be, in some way, I'm bringing them in to our March retreat, because it's all about bringing more magic, more healing, more ways of opening these portals, more of the sound and the frequency and the color and the auras, and then we work with the dolphins. They communicate, they awaken our third eyes, so do the manatees. They work with the aura, they rewire us. So we're going to have an epic, epic year. In February, the dragon year is starting. So I'm sure I'll be doing some special things about the dragon energy, but it's very important to realize that this energy could knock you on your ass, and the biggest thing you could do is to not get caught up in the imperialistic drama. That's the way it's going to unfold. It's going to be a lot of power. I want your stuff, right? And this is a cleanse. This is the finality. This is the final act, the roaring before the death of this power over us. So please, please take that, bring that into your awareness. Say, I'm going to walk into this year as a pillar of light coming back into balance. I want to come back into my Kundalini balance. I want to listen to my own inner voice, my own spirit. I want to embody that citrine energy where I do not allow my inner core frequency to go down for any reason, for any person. It doesn't make you uncaring or cold. It makes you able to be a channel for light in a moment where everybody else is wallowing around creating more of the low frequencies. You cannot fix anything by going to it. Do not get in the ditch with somebody when they drive off the road in a blizzard. You're going to get in the ditch too, and you're both going to die. This is something I learned when I went to college, and I can tell you what, energetically, it is very, very true. So let's wrap up, and let me take a peek here and see if there's anything I didn't share with you about our special moment that we're in. I didn't mention that we're in Mercury retrograde. So, you know, I have a free thing in the shop. You might want to check that out about Mercury retrograde. It's always interesting to learn more about Mercury retrograde, but don't be afraid of it. Everything goes in retrograde, not everything. Most of the other beautiful cosmic beings that we're dancing with here, Saturn and Venus and all these, they go into retrograde too. Some go into retrograde very, very infrequently, and some nonstop, like Mercury. So we want to just simply realize this is a guide. This is the messenger of the gods. And when it's in retrograde, it's saying, let's go back and look at things before you go forward. Well, that's perfect before the new year, isn't it? Before the new year, we want to take a review of the year, a review of where we are, and to really, with wonder, with gratitude. Okay, so how can you rewire your way that your view, your perspective of yourself. Okay, so remember, the solstice is a portal of light, and this is going to be a transmission. I'm going to do a transmission next, like a meditation, and we'll receive some divine guidance. This is basically what I sent out in the email, so take a look at the email, because you are the sun. So in astrology, the sun represents self. Represents you. That's your light. So we talked about the different suns and how they are within you. This is the life-giving force for your own reality. You are the sun for your reality. What are you feeding your sun? Are you hiding your sun? Are you afraid of your sun? Are you still acting from old ideas that you shouldn't shine your sun, that you're too much? Okay, so right now you're receiving an incredible download of cosmic light, and we're in a time of rebirth, and this is one of the reasons Bat Spirit's here, so you might want to talk with Bat Spirit as well. Now, today we're having our celebration, and we're receiving solar gold ray galactic downloads. This is what's happening because of this alignment with the galactic center that I told you about. The veil is very, very thin right now, which means that you can receive more, you can understand more, but you might also take on more that isn't yours. So please activate right now. Take a deep breath in. I activate my light body at optimal speed for me at this time. Hold it as long as you can, and when you blow it out very hard, like a dolphin, and then watch it move through your field, through the cells and the DNA, into the aura, through the emotional field, the mental field, and out, and out, and out, and out. Now, I ask to walk in each moment aligned to my highest good, connected to what is optimal for me in each moment. I ask to leave behind my ego and allow the sun and citrine to bring clarity to me now. I'm ready to receive these galactic center downloads, these positive and powerful cosmic energies. I receive this boost, and I ask it to come in and upgrade me in the most gracious and aligned way for my highest good. Now, as you're saying what I'm saying, you need to say it. Don't say it out loud if you don't want to, but you need to say it. You're the one telling yourself. You're the one telling your body. You're the one in charge of your reality. You are the sun. The sun is the farthest away from us right now. We're in the deepest darkness. We're in the shortest day. In this deep darkness, look for your miracle. In this deep darkness, this is the womb. I'm ready and willing, and I am open and receptive to receive this amazing energy, to weave through the cosmic skies, to allow the portals to open and lead from one to another as I travel through this solstice, aligned with the galactic center and into the full moon. Now you can close your eyes. I'll be sharing the slides for another minute or so, but you don't need to read them. I'm guiding you through this in a sensory way. Take a deep breath in. Where are you bringing the breath from? Is it going up your nose? Is it going down your throat? Is it coming in through your hands or your heart? Hold it. Watch it. Does it have a color? Is it like a cloud, a mist, water? Is it expanding? Let it go like you're leaking very slowly out. The veil is thin, and I easily walk from this dimension, from my limited ego mind, from the drama, the pain, and the disease. I'm ready to receive and release, that I may enter this time of extreme, connected, heightened senses aligned with the grids of light through, around Gaia, through my body. I am Gaia.